What is up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of What's Up Cuzzo Podcast. We are in the building. Yes, sir. Man, how y'all feeling out there, man? I am one of the hosts, uh, Marco, and the other host, Jamel. He is HFBN. HFB. Handling family business. That's what he's doing. He will be back hopefully next week. And yeah, get this thing started. So man, how was y'all week out there, man? Hopefully you guys had a phenomenal week. It is another Friday. Fantastic Friday. Some of y'all, it's a Freaky Friday. Man, another good overall day. You know what, man? One thing is it is heating up out here. It's getting a little warm. I am from sunny Southern California. And yeah, it's getting a little toasty out here. So make sure you're keeping cool, staying hydrated, and all that good stuff. Man, a lot is going on. Things have happened. And I know my cousin will say, and always things will happen. So yeah, we got a bit to talk about. We're gonna look at a podcast. They were talking about schools and your kids and how not to put your kid or putting your kids in certain schools. Does it put them at a disadvantage? Does it put them at risk for certain things? Um, then we're going to talk about some individuals who are a little upset and bothered about Trump. And then we're going to talk about Nick Fuentes. He has something to say about Black people. I don't know if, I want to see if you guys agree with him or not. And then we're going to talk about the infamous American Eagle logo. Or I'm sorry, American Eagle ad. I know we're a little bit behind, but we're gonna get to it. Well, what before I start, I want to thank everybody who subscribed to the channel. I know we are a new and upcoming channel, and all those people out there who are going to be subscribers haven't subscribed yet, and so we're just working, like I said, working to get to our 10,000 hours. And the reason why I say 10,000 hours because they say, when you put 10,000 hours in the thing, that's mastery. That's when you come. So I'm not saying that we are going to be the greatest. Actually, we are going to be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when you put 10,000 hours into something, it puts you at the level of mastery. Driving. It could be a certain field of study. I have this camera set up right here. It could be photography, whatever that may be for you. But putting in the time, 10,000 hours, they say that's a level that you want to get to when you're trying to be a master of certain things. And I don't think it goes, that far against, this as well. Like, I believe that, putting 10,000 hours into this, this being, our channel, will put us at a master type level. So we're working on this thing, and the goal is to be consistent. So anyway, not to mumble too much, but please like, comment, subscribe, share, etc., etc. Please do all the above. Anyway, I don't have any sponsors yet to talk about, so we're gonna hop right into it. We're gonna start off with Nick Fuentes. So he had an interesting look on how people of color, well, I'll say black people, are seen, by others, and this is his opinion. And I thought it was interesting. There's definitely some things that some things that I agree with, but then some things I don't necessarily agree with. Let me go ahead and share that. Let's see. Let me see. There we go. Share. Share. All right, there we go.
It's a shame. I really do believe, look, I think black people are not irredeemable, but there just needs to be brutal honesty. It's like, look, these black people are really struggling and they're turning into these maniacs. It seems like they don't do anything right. They're obnoxious, they're rude, they're inconsiderate, aggressive, cruel. And, look, nobody hates black people for being black. If there are people like that, I think that's exceedingly rare. And I don't consider myself one of them. The reason that people have negative attitudes about black people is because most people's interactions with black people are negative. Most people's interactions with black people is when you're stuck in traffic and you see a Nissan Altima speeding down the shoulder. And you say, what the fuck? You're not supposed to do that. If everybody did that, it would just be another lane. And, not everybody can do that. But it's like these people have no respect for decorum. They think the rules don't apply to them. They have no respect for society. Like that's their interaction is they are a waiter and they wait on a black table and the black people don't tip and they're fucking rude. Like that's most people's interactions. It's stuff like that. They go to the DMV and they see a black person behind the counter and they say, oh, here we go. And the person's rude. Now, it just goes to show people are not racist. It goes to show people don't like people that are rude. That people don't, it's unpleasant. People want to be treated with consideration and respect. And it is true that black people are, in this day and age, unfortunately, seem to have very low moral character. It's not even just the violence, although the violence is pretty striking. If you live your life and you know that you're going to be mugged by black people, it kind of colors your opinion or perception of black people, wouldn't you say? If 99% of the carjackings and stabbings and shootings that you see in Chicago are by black people, when you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people. And you equate that with danger. And it doesn't take a lot of them to spoil the whole bunch like that. And we just want black people to take accountability and say, look, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It just seems that every time I encounter you people, for the most part, it's negative. And sometimes extremely negative, like I could get a gun in my face. That's a problem. And people go, well, you are just loaded up with hatred and racism. It's like, I'm really not. I'm a really friendly person. I'm a really polite, friendly person. I give everybody a chance. But if I'm someplace and I see some black person walking in with their pants sagging and they can't articulate what their problem is or what they need, and they're rude and they're aggressive and I'm in fear for my life, like, yeah, I have a problem with all of that. And people go, and these black people go, well, you're racist, you're racist. It's like, no, I just hate inconsiderate behavior. If black people were super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say, black people, oh, yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better. What can I help you with, sir? Please come right on in. Man, what a relief to see you.
Oh, oh, okay.
Here, you're a sight for sore eyes. If black people are known for being the best, directions. Oh, finally. So yeah, that really bothers me. It just bothers me in this damn ass city because that's all it is in Chicago is just these black people who can never take accountability. It's always somebody else's fault.
So let's let's break this down. So when he says these black people, I'm kind of confused as to who are these black people that he's referring to. Like you didn't, I mean, he kind of gave a description of some people later on, but these black people, and you know, some people are outraged by this, you know, because it can, you know, be seen as I don't want to say hate speech, but it can be seen a little demeaning. And for him to say these black, like, who are these black people, you know, that you're referring to? And then he goes on to say, he says that everybody's interaction, or most people's interaction with black people, are negative. Like, how can you speak to how most people's interaction is? You know, you can't say most people because, I mean, it may be your friend group, you know, maybe your family. I mean, it may be even some of your peers who you're speaking for, but you said most people's interaction. I don't think that's a fair evaluation. Now, I will say this, and most people who were born, you know, I don't want to say born in a certain community, but most people who were born in their skin color was, you know, or people like me. I'll just say it that way. They know there's a difference when you talk about black people. There's some, you know, black people who get up, you know, they try to live, you know, the best that they can. You know, they're somewhat educated, or, you know, some higher has higher education. You know, they have a family. You know, they do normal things. You know, they go, you know, have fun. You know, regular old fun. They might, you know, go to the mall, or, you know, go to a movie, go out to eat, like just do regular things. You know, go to an amusement park. You know, and, you know, kind of stay to themselves. You know, they have their friend group. They, you know, may go hang out with their friends and not cause, you know, too much ruckus out in the streets, right? The most you might get from them is if, you know, you cut them off or something like that. Well, I said that's me. Cut me off. You know, I'll probably be yelling in the car. Not too much though. But then you have a different type of people who look like us. Some may call them black people, but then some may call them something else uh, that doesn't start with the letter in either of the words. I'm sorry, that doesn't have a letter or start with a letter. Like I said, I was right. That is in either word, black or people. You call them something else. And for y'all who know, y'all know. And those are the type of people who, even when I see coming, walking down the street, I might cross the street. Those are the same type of people that when I'm out and about, I don't want to go where they go. Those are the same people when there's a party, certain types of parties or club events, I don't go because I know those people are going to be there. They look like me, but they don't act like me. And so I think he might be getting those people confused and he's generalizing his statement as to all black people, but it's not all black people. And he just doesn't know the difference. I mean, he did kind of address those people when he said, when you come in a place and you're sagging your pants and you don't know how to articulate yourself and things like that. Yeah, he was talking about those same type of people I'm talking about. I may, play my music kind of loud every now and then. Less now as I get older. I maybe used to sag my pants a little bit back in the day, but not now unless I forgot my belt. But the dynamics and the stereotypes of those type of people. And yes, and some of those people don't even think that they do anything wrong. And they don't take accountability. I mean, there's a lot of us that don't take accountability, but they don't take accountability for what we do. And now, I listened to, another podcaster, and he talks about my people are the people who are going in the same direction that I'm going in. Like, it's not about race. And if you look at it, he's talking about, race specifically, but if you look, there's a lot of people who don't deal with the degenerates in their own race. And those people that he's talking about are some of those degenerates that some of us don't even deal with. Like, guess what? They may be family, they may used to, are friends, but when you come to a certain understanding, like, hey, like, it's time to do away with that stuff. We distance ourselves. I mean, we still want to be supportive of those people. We may still love them, but we distance ourselves from them because they don't show the same couth that we have. They don't act the same way we have. When you go out with them, you got to worry about them starting to fight. You got to worry about them complaining, about their food not being a certain way. Hey, man, when I go in the restaurant, I do not complain. I don't take my food back because I don't know what you're doing to it back there. And so Nick is think he got those people that he's talking about mixed up. I doubt if he sees this podcast, but I just want to let him know that some of those people that you talking about, I don't rock with either, Nick. It's just plain and simple. I don't rock with some of those people either. So by you saying these people, like, you need to be descriptive. I saw a story a few days ago. I was showing my sister that this lady is complaining about going on Carnival cruises, or she says she's not going to go on any more Carnival cruises just because some of those people, have been on the cruise. And they changed the whole dynamic of the cruise. The cruise is not fun anymore. You know, they hang out by the pool way after hours. You know, when she comes in the morning, try to chill and drink her coffee. They're drunk by the Serenity Pool. That's what she called it, the Serenity Pool. They're still drunk. They were leaving plates and plates of food outside of their door, like piled up in front of the door of their room, fighting. I just know somebody who just came from a cruise and some people was fighting on there. Those are those people that you talking about, but those are not the same people that I rock with. So even though I agree, you know, with some of the things you said, you need
And
to.
they see a black person behind the counter and they say, oh, here we go. And the person's rude.
Yeah.
Now, it just goes to show people are not racist. It goes to show people don't like people that are rude. That's most people's interactions. It's stuff like that. They go to the DMV and they see a black.
Then he mentioned the DM, going to the DMV, and hey, I'm with you on this one. I have a friend / associate, actually a couple of them that works at the DMV. And I told one of them, I said, man, hey, those people at the DMV, like, you scared to ask them a question because they're the most rude people in the world. And I don't even know if it's just specific to you know, black people per se. I just think I don't know, it's like part of the training manual. I don't know. It's just my opinion. You know, I'm not saying it's true, but it just seems like most people, when you go to the DMV, they had an attitude. Like you forced them to be there. Hey, you need to get another job if you don't want to be here. But I mean, I agree with them. I mean, there are some interactions where, you know, you deal with certain people, and unfortunately, I guess in his particular experiences have been, you know, black people. But I don't think it's limited to, because there's a lot of people, you know, if I go in a store, you know, I've been in a store, I should say, and, you know, I feel like I don't get the same treatment, you know, because and I'll leave in a minute. I know they don't really care, you know, but, and I don't know if you guys experience that as well, but if you don't think, like, I don't have to spend my money with you, like, if you don't give me the same attention, you know, or if you don't give me the same attention, then hey, I'll just leave. And the people around me, you know that I will. Like if I sit down and, you know, one time I sat down at a restaurant. I, you know, took the lady out for Mother's Day, and you know, we sat there for 30 minutes, and it was like during graduation season, I think. And yeah, it's around the same time during graduation season. So there was a big graduation, and you know, most of the people were focused on that graduation. Why? Because they don't get a big tip. And they probably thought dealing with certain black people, and it wasn't a black restaurant, it was a different restaurant, but dealing with certain black people, you know, they may not tip, because I'm hearing that all the time too, is that people of color are, you know, specifically black people, excuse me, won't tip or don't tip. But that's not me. I tip, and I make sure I tip at least 20%. Like, even, I mean, they done got crazy with it. Like, even if I go somewhere where they just handing me my food, that tip calculator thing comes up like 18%, 20%, 22%, 25 or whatever. And I'm like, damn, man, like, I don't know. Somehow I feel like forced to do it. So boom, I give them, you know, like I said, minimum 20%. But I don't know, maybe their experiences with certain people, they figured that they weren't going to tip, and I was upset, and I was about to leave, you know. But you know, in that particular instance, the manager took care of our food, which was great. But like I said, Nick, I agree with you on certain things you talked about, but you have to definitely separate, because I'm sure there's some people of other races that you don't rock in your race that you don't rock with. They do certain things that you don't like. It may not necessarily be being rude. It may not necessarily be, sagging their pants or whatever, all the other things that you stated. But it's something that they don't do, and you don't rock with them for whatever reason. Maybe they smoke meth or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they're in a trailer park. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Just throwing things out there. I don't know. Like I said, I agree with some things, but not fully. But anyway, let me know what you guys think inside of the comments. Let me know, what your stance is on that. Like if you have any opinions on this topic. And we'll go ahead and move to the next topic. Let's see. So yeah, this is the American Eagle ad. Let's see what. See, make sure it's sharing on. Okay, yeah, it's not. All right, there we go. Let's rock out.
Sydney Sweeney has very canes.
All right, you know what? Might be. Hold on 1 second. Stop sharing. That might not be the right one. Let me see. You want to get the full. Hmm. Just give me a second here. Let me see. I know I had that video. I don't know if that's the full video, because I thought it was more. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here we go. I think this might be it.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very canes.
You see what I did there, right?
Bro. Okay. That can't be the original video. Let me see. Oh, okay. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. I know they said something about her eye color and all that stuff like that, but I apologize, guys. Hopefully, we got it 3 times the charm right here. Okay, let's see.
Weenie at the center.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Critics have accused the ad of playing up eugenics, that Sweeney's white skin color, blonde hair, and blue eyes were greater than other genes.
I went and saw it.
That's Nazi propaganda. Wow.
Those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird, like fascist weird.
Others have called the negative reaction overblown, and support for the ad now extends to the White House.
Yeah, my political advice to the Democrats is continue to tell everybody who thinks Sydney Sweeney is attractive is a Nazi. that appears to be their actual strategy.
That includes President Trump, calling it the hottest ad out there and praising Sweeney's reported political leanings.
If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic.
American Eagle responded to the backlash Friday, writing, Sydney Sweeney has great genes, is and always was about the genes, her story. We'll continue to celebrate how everyone wears their AE genes with confidence their way. Great genes look good on everyone. Yesterday, after President Trump's endorsement, the company's stock price jumped 23%.
It's not really about the genes anymore at this point.
Jillian Follett is a social media and influencer marketing reporter for Ad Age.
If they were hoping to kind of create this buzz, they did that. But I don't know if it's necessarily what their target demographic wants to see from them.
Amazing.
Jolene Kent, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Damn. I missed out on some money. That's what. Hold on. Let's see. Man. Let's see. Did we miss out on some bread, y'all? Let's see. Let's see what Google Finance say. Is there a ticker AE? AEO. American Eagle is down today, but let's see, 5 days ago. Okay, so it was 13. Okay. How long ago was the? Oh yeah, it did jump up a little bit over the past month. 992, and then uptick down to 10, back at 12. Hey, yeah, we missed out on 24% increase. Oh man, you know what? I would say this. Personally, my cousin would say this, so I'm gonna say it in his absence. Why is this even a topic? Why is this I'm sorry, why is this news? It's ridiculous. Sydney Sweeney has great genes, okay? Okay, so even if they're talking about her genes, not talking about the genes she's wearing, but her actual genes, like where she came from, like, you know, where she derived from physically, who gives a frack? Guess what? I got great genes too. What's wrong with that? Why can't you be inclusive? And the problem is like everybody's always trying to find a reason to divide people and divide us. We just talked about the difference between these black people. Yeah, that's a little different. People are always trying to make stuff like racial of it. I don't see anything racial about that. Guess what? If she has great genes, did my camera just die? If she has great genes, so what? Like, I don't understand what the big fuss is. And I'm not gonna really spend a whole lot of time in this, but like, how are your genes? What's your makeup? Like, how do you feel God blessed you? Like, even if she's not talking about the jeans she's wearing, why can't she have good genes? And then you have good genes, and her, like Oprah, you get good genes, 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 everybody gets good genes. Why can't everybody have good genes? What's wrong with that? Y'all make me sick. You always try to find the issue about every little freaking thing. They didn't say nobody else has good genes. They said Sydney Sweeney has them. Okay, cool. Sound like she's confident and they're confident that she has good genes. But people are making a freaking big deal about it, bro. I didn't see anything racist in that. Like, let me know if I'm wrong. Like, what am I missing? Am I missing like a few key words? Because I know words could change, change things, but am I missing something? Like, even if y'all take a spin off the word, it's still not anything that's being said that's wrong. Guess what? The jeans that you buy, just because hers are good doesn't mean yours don't have to be. If you get them from Shein or from Target or Levi, wherever you get your jeans from, you might, maybe your jeans are good too. If you like them, then they're good jeans. Y'all people need to quit. Y'all need to quit trying to make an issue racial every time. It's not. This is not racial at all. I think y'all just reading too far into it. If it was somebody on here who was of another color and they said they had great genes, you'd be like, go ahead, girl. I know that's right. Black don't crack. You have a whole lot to say on the other side of things. But you find some reason to find hate in this. And I was trying to figure out, because this is actually my first time watching the video, so I didn't really know, what was said, how the video or how the ad presented. But I heard people talking about it, and I heard the uproar about this particular video, and I'm just like, are you serious? Like, this is crazy. People are ridiculous, man. Like I said, I don't see anything wrong with the video. I think it was perfectly fine. And I mean, she has good genes. I mean, she's okay to me. I mean, Not my cup of tea. But for her to say she has good genes and for them to say it, like, it's fine. And I actually wear American Eagle too. I don't care. Come for me. If y'all boycott, then guess what? I mean, I maybe get them on a discount. But it's just ridiculous, man. Y'all need to find something else to do. Y'all need to find another way to be productive and get something else to worry about. Man, you know what? I was actually looking up, when the election for mayor and governor are coming around. That's what y'all need to be focused on. Trying to change what's going on in y'all communities. I don't know about for you, but it's not getting any better around here. Things are getting worse, and I just see different laws being passed that I'm like, hold on, why did they pass that, or why did they do that? But these are the people that we're putting in the office. So that's what y'all need to be focused on. Y'all need to look up and see who is running your city. See who's running well, I know who's running my state, but see the people who are running your surrounding area and be prepared to make a difference at the poll. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. Shout out to Sydney Sweeney, American Eagle. We will move on to the next topic. And I wasn't prepared for it. So give me a second here. Actually, I think I'll save. Let me see. Trump. Okay, yeah. Almost there, y'all. Thank you for being patient. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see. I'll share.
With the stamp on it that says Donald Trump lives here.
Let me start it over.
It scared me. I'm sorry. Why don't I just go to the bank to get some cash out, and I have like 5 20s with the stamp on it that says Donald Trump lives here. It scared me so damn bad, I had to Google it. Apparently it's a stamp that Trump supporters use and put on money. They've been doing this since 2018. I'm so pissed right now. I don't want this on my money. I'm about to spend the fuck out of these. I don't want that. Like, everything those people do is so deranged. Why are you messing with currency? Isn't that illegal, like, for them to do that? And then why does the bank...
Take a breath.
I don't have any words.
No. There we go. This is a classic example. First of all, why is it that you are allowing somebody to dictate your mood that much? I get it. And I could be guilty of it. Maybe it's that thing when somebody does one thing that you don't like, is just everything that they do. is a problem or issue. I don't know. Maybe that might be this. But I thought it was funny that people were so worked up about it. I don't know. I don't care, man. Like, y'all are missing out on or are worried about making money, getting out of debt first, you say that. Making money, creating wealth, getting into a better place, wherever it is, like maybe going back to school, maybe getting an extra job so you can run up a bag or pay off debt faster. But you're also caught up on Donald Trump. Hey, remember Coming to America when they was in the barbershop and they was talking about boxing, Cassius Clay. And then when they brought up Cassius Clay, what did he say? Every time, he said, what about Rocky Marciano? Rocky Marciano? Every time I talk about Cassius Clay, some got to pull Rocky Marciano out of his ass. That's what it sounds like. Every time something comes up about something related to government, because, the money comes from government essentially, they got to pull Donald Trump out their Pull Donald Trump out their ass. Let me just say it. Like, bro, nobody cares. Like, you really took your time out to hop on video, have story time about some stamps on some money that you're about to spend anyway. Nobody cares. And guess what? Some of the and the funny thing is some of the things that are being doing allows you to have that money in your hand. I mean, that he's doing allows you to have that money in your hand. And hopefully in the future will allow you to have more of it. But you're so caught up on a stamp of money. I mean, something being stamped on some money. Nobody cares. Guess what? If that stamp said, this for all bad bitches or something like that, you'll be like, hey, God did it. I got this money in my hand for a reason. God sent it to me. But because it says Donald Trump lives here, which he does, technically he does live in the White House. Not live there, but he's working out of there. Like, why is it such a big deal to you? Get your money. Go get your nails done. Go get your pedicure. Go get them eyebrows done. Go get your eyelashes, your butterfly eyelashes. Go get your hair done. Go get you some Chipotle. Whatever it is you're gonna do, and spend that money so it can get it out your hand. You know what? That makes me want to buy one of those so bad and see how people respond to it, and turn it on the other side and give it to them. It's crazy. When Biden was in office, like he did a lot of ridiculous things. And I could just speak personally. I wasn't like, oh, Biden's fault. It's Biden's fault. Like everything that goes on, like Biden did this, Biden did that. Now, he did some weird stuff. He walked into the forest. Nobody knew where he was going. He looked like Weekend at Bernie up there. But everybody wasn't saying everything that's going on. They wasn't tying him to, this war that's going on. And actually, you know what? I'll take that back. I'll correct myself. I was saying something about the war in Ukraine. Why are we funding this country? But it wasn't, that was a concern. But everything that went on inside the country, it wasn't always Biden's fault. I got a flat tire. It's Biden's fault. It's more and more homeless people. It's Biden's fault. It's less and less jobs. It's Biden's fault. Like, I didn't say that. And you worried about a $20 bill with a stamp on it. Nobody cares. Man. Let me know what y'all think is, am I the one that's wrong, or are these people going too far, man? It's getting ridiculous. It's getting way out of hand. Let's see. Now we're going to take a look at podcast. Let's see. Oh, here it is. All right. Let's see. So basically the clip I'm gonna play, it's from a podcast called Grits and Eggs. And I think one of the hosts is Kyle. I don't know this is my first time actually seeing the podcast. Actually, somebody sent this to me. And I took a look at this one particular clip, and they kind of asked me, like, what do I think of it? And I'll let you know what I think. But the podcast clip, it argues that Black children in a predominantly white environment can be damaging to their identity and development. Let's see. And actually, from my understanding, this isn't like a new conversation. It connects to debates about schools, desegregation, and legacy of separate but equal, and the importance of historical Black colleges and universities. Let's see what they have to say about it. Actually, let me do that. Do that. And there we go. Let's go.
This week, because that clip of DJ Envy and Killer Mike resurfaced.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these like bigger pro-Black pages that I follow, they kind of repurpose some clips. And then, you remember that whole spat they had about, being Killer Mike's whole thing is like stay in proximity to Black people.
Right.
Now, people from Atlanta are a little spoiled in that aspect.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Because we see it everywhere.
Yeah, we
like,
never had
police is Black.
Everybody Black.
Doctors Black. Lawyers Black. Judges.
Everybody's Black.
Everybody's Black in Atlanta.
Yeah. I think that's why people gravitate here.
I mean, ever since we was like kids.
No, it's never really been that whole like proximity to whiteness thing.
Nah.
But even in like Wilmington, North Carolina, where I was from, it was like split. It was some 50-50 type shit in some places. But there's definitely like pockets of that town where you don't have to go see no white folks if you don't want to.
No, but I seen a documentary about Wilmington.
Wilmington has a very rich
history.
historical black history, and you know, massacre there like several other places, but very successful, booming black town.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Black politicians, black newspapers, black everything,
black
you know
buses, black,
and also like living just as good, if not better, than some of the white people, which is what the problem was.
That's what the problem was.
Yeah. And it echoes the sentiment, right? That what are you getting out of putting your black ass child in proximity to white people, especially at a young age? Because if we said if the goal of white supremacy is to erode the soul, what do you think's happening to your children when you subjugate them to ostracization and racism at such a young age? They're like formative years they're spent trying to assimilate with racist. Because if you think they ain't being called a nigger at school, you're out of your fucking mind. Because we moved to Florida for a brief stint, and Kyron was the only few black kids there. And when we got there, I was like, I want to leave there. Like when I went to the school, because that's the way Florida operate. You either poor, or you white, like literally. So just because we had like a little middle class type money, we didn't want to put him in the Fort Myers school shit because shit ghetto is a motherfucker. And so, but then where we was at, it was like, damn, it ain't nothing but Mexicans and white people. It was only supposed to be there for a short spell of time, but like Shawty was there for like 3 weeks because he was gifted. So he went to the gifted school. But then when they found out where our address was, they was like, yeah, he can't come here. Like it's out of the district, whatever. So he went to this other school. Man, he wasn't even there a month. Boy called him a nigger on the bus. And he was, and they're ready to throw a fucking fit. Like, it's like, because that clip of DJ Envy and Killer Mike resurfaced, you know, some of these like cessation and racism at such a young age. They're like formative years they're spent trying to assimilate with racist. Because if you think they ain't being called a nigger at school, you're out of your fucking mind. Because we moved to Florida for a brief stint, and Kyron was the only few black kids there. And when we got there, I was like, I want to leave there. Like when I went to the school, because that's the way Florida operate. You either poor, or you white, like literally. So just because we had like a little middle class type money, we didn't want to put him in the Fort Myers school shit because shit ghetto is a motherfucker. And so, but then where we was at, it was like, damn, it ain't nothing but Mexicans and white people. It was only supposed to be there for a short spell of time, but like Shawty was there for like 3 weeks because he was gifted. So he went to the gifted school. But then when they found out where our address was, they was like, yeah, he can't come here. Like it's out of the district, whatever. So he went to this other school. Man, he wasn't even there a month. Boy called him a nigger on the bus. And he was, and they're ready to throw a fucking fit. Like, it's like, you subjecting your kids to racism at such a young age when it's not necessary because you think the education is better. And is it a better education or do they just have better amenities?
Just better amenities.
And how is the education better if the whole educational system is based off of lies and propaganda? What are you expecting? A better education? No, you just think that ice is colder. That's what they think. Yeah. They think the closer you are to white people, the better you are, the more equal you'll be. But how the fuck you gonna be equal to people that deemed you 3/5 of a human? How? How does that work? Explain that math to me. Niggas turned you into a fraction of a person. And you standing in front of them whole. And you remove them completely from blackness. They don't have black neighbors. None of their teachers is black. Oh, you think your child at school causing trouble? No, they're being singled out. Because these people are fucking racist. I don't know, like, and you just put them in proximity. And I've heard all these different stories about people like having to being subjected to so much racism. That's going to traumatize your child for the rest of their life. So, for the only way for them to have a good experience is to go along. So they have to remove their dignity. They have to remove their pride because you're severely outnumbered. You can't fight everybody. And the more fights you get into, the more of a problem you are. When you're already seen as a problem to begin with. Now, I understand you're making a little money. You're making a little money, and you want your child to have a better education as far as just more resources. That's really what it is. When we go to the poorer schools, they lack resources, they lack funding. You know, kids have a rougher at home life, so they come to school to express whatever frustration they can't express at home. But better?
No, it's not better.
I mean, what? This is America. What do you want them in you want them in a nice, clean classroom with a whole bunch of amenities so they could just learn the lies better? So they can learn the propaganda a little better? Because they ain't gonna have no goddamn opinion. And then they grow up and you put them around all these goddamn white people. You remove them from all the blackness, and then you expect them to have black excellence. That ain't how that work. No, it's not better. What you're saying is white people are better. In a nutshell, it's not a better education. You just think that being around more white people makes you better, and it'll make your kid better. It just doesn't make sense, and we don't understand the system enough. Because you would direct that anger at your own community, but if you really understood
I'll stop it right there. So he had a lot to say, and I probably disagree with him a lot more, even that I disagree with Nick Fuentes that we talked about earlier. Like he first started to talk about putting your what are you getting from putting your child in proximity of white people for school. Like we just have to be honest, and I'll just start here. I he makes it seem, and they actually come from another area. I'll say that. Sounds like they're from Atlanta, Georgia, or in the Georgia area. And you may have a lot of different people, different cultures, out there. But from what it sounds like, and I've been through Atlanta, but I haven't actually been to Atlanta. But what it sounds like you said, that the police officers are black, teachers are black, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's just a number of black people in a lot of offices. But here, it's a melting pot, in California. And some other places may be like the total opposite. Like you maybe like, and here, like I said, it's a melting pot. So you have like all kind of different people, all kind of different colors in different positions, across the cities. And I don't know of a place where you would just see. I mean, I'm sure there is, but living in the city, living like where I stay at, in California, like you see everybody. It's like everybody's all clumped in together. But what it sounds like with him, like going to a place where there is all white people is not beneficial. And I don't know. I don't know what that looks like, because I went to a school that was majority minority. And if you saw a white person on campus, then they were the minority, like vast minority. It was like somebody who, like, they would definitely stick out like a sore thumb. But as you get older, like even like teachers, the teachers, like I had some white teachers, I had some black teachers. So it wasn't just I wasn't exposed to white people in school, so it was different. But being like in the inner city and going to a certain type of school, seeing how and all the stuff goes on in that school, and then hearing that that is inherently different at another school. Like I don't really know. I really haven't really heard about the racial part of it. I mean, it may happen. You know, it may actually happen. I don't know, but like hearing the that they take education more serious, that um they're actually taught to be ready for the real world or the next level, for college and things like that. If high school in particular, uh being afforded more opportunities to go places, like traveling to different countries and things like that. you know I see kids that have done that and have been exposed to other groups of people, and they are exceptionally different than those people that like even myself, like that grew up and went to a school that was mainly of one type, one or two type of different people, and not being exposed to all these different things. And that's the disadvantage. Like you're not exposed to all these things. And then the other thing, he said, you know, that if you go to another school, a school with all white people, that you won't, like, if you don't think your child is being called an N word, then you got to be crazy. That may happen. It may happen. The other thing is that, like I said, if the shoe if roles were reversed, and it was an all black school and a white kid was there, I know they would have a lot of names for him. He would stick out like a sore thumb. He'd be called white boy. Depends. If he is the cool white boy, then he may get different, what I mean, type of treatment. But if he's not the cool white boy, if he's the nerdy, goofy little white boy, I could see him getting picked on. I could see, people like, I used to do like kick underneath your feet to trip you, calling you names, bullying. Like it's not just one sided. Like look at the movie Higher Learning. If you guys seen that, I know I'm a little older, but you had Remy. Remy came on the campus, goofy. Hey guys, what I'm saying, goofy white boy. He was goofy, nerdy. And I'm not saying that college was necessarily predominantly black, but he was trying to fit in. He had a black roommate, but he was getting dissed. No attention was being paid to him. And he went to a side where he fit in. And at the end, he crashed out. But it wasn't because he was inherently racist. It was because he tried to be kind and nice and be himself around other people who didn't necessarily look like him. And they, not saying that they weren't accepting of him. And so and they dogged him out. And so in the end, like he, in the movie, he went around the people that accepted him, which may not necessarily been the right people. That's what he did. And I mean, you could talk about one side, and I know that side is a side that you are a part of, but you also like from the flip side is like you can't just say everybody is inherently racist, and because your kid is running like that, all the kids are gonna call him the N word. Is gonna call him a ninja. Like that doesn't mean that. Like your child may go there, may have a great education, and become an upstanding individual in life. I think he's projecting, and things that aren't even the same as they used to be. People talk like like they were the ones who were in chains and enslaved and things like that. Like, yeah, I get it. Like somebody may have called you, a ninja. They may have. I'll give you that. But things are definitely changing. And, sometimes I feel like people talk about racism and slavery and things like that, like they were out there picking cotton. Like they were, out there getting whooped. Like they were out there, in the fields. Like we're so far removed from that. And sometimes, kind of like this Nick video, that may be why I end up playing that first, because it shows how people are from the other side are tired of the way we act, and they have a certain perception of just like we have of them. If we go and handle our business, do we need to do, or your child per se in this instance, then it shouldn't be no issues. Yes, I want my child to have better. And if I believe that them being in a certain environment could get them better and make them a better person in society, then I would. Because I mean, just be honest. Let's be honest. Certain schools, yeah, it may be all black or brown people, right? But guess what? You got to worry about being called to the school because they had a fight and somebody did something to your child. You got to worry about, them being in groups, going to the store. And of course, this goes on the parents too, but also there's influence as well. And I'm not saying this will happen to my child, but I'm just saying it's happened to people's child. The child goes in these groups and they go to the store and they steal from the stores. They ditch. We used to ditch back in the day too. So I guess maybe I'll take that one out. But you have to worry about harm being done to your kid. That you have to worry about, you're probably at work, trying to make a living so they can be taken care of. And, you have to be called off of work because your son or daughter was in class and they socked the teacher. Like some of these schools don't play that mess. Like, the bad part of it, they'll be kicked out, but some of these schools don't play. They have a more no nonsense when it comes to things like that. Like, and a lot of times you see these schools, it doesn't matter if they're white, black, Latino, or whatever, Asian. And like these kids lost their mind in these schools. I don't want my child to be in a class where it's being disrupted because somebody's trying to fight the teacher, or because somebody's trying to have a fight outside. Like those are the things that you got encounter when having, you know, in the inner city schools. There are these schools around all black people. And I know I sound kind of crazy, you know, but I mean, we know what's up. We got to be honest. We know how things go down with our kids, you know, in certain schools. You guys been through it. I remember back in the day, and my friend was talking about it used to be uh, blacks and Mexicans was fighting in middle school, was fighting each other. I don't want my son or daughter to have to encounter that. I mean, you just got to pick and choose, you know, and like I said, it may be different, you know, from place to place. And then he talked about, and yeah, this is just to add to what I was saying. He talked about like, you know, they with us 3/5 of a person, bro. Do you know how long ago that was? Like your mother, and probably and your grandmother wasn't even thought about during those times. Like y'all talk about, like I said, y'all talk about this stuff is like it's current, like it's happening right now. A lot of the stuff that y'all talking about has been wiped away, like not even thought about anymore. Um, and then you know another thing he brought up, he talked about like how can they achieve black excellence um when they're removed from around black people. I don't understand that because like if you're black dad, black cousins, black mom, black uncles, black aunties, black grandmother, uh that's where they get to see their black excellence. And guess what? I want to take my son or daughter and put them in a place where they can get the best education, they could be safe, and they, like I said, they could be a upstanding person in the community, or in life, I should say. Um, whether that be a school, whatever school that is, that's what I want to do. If they need to be homeschooled, then that works too. But I don't think putting them in a school with predominantly white people is harming or damning to them. Now, unless there are some places, you know, I just have to be objective. There are some places where there are people who are, you know, they have Confederate flags. I don't really know about all those places. I mean, I was in Kentucky one time and I seen one. I'm not saying it was a certain way, but now if you're like in that type of place where and you know that's the type of atmosphere, that's something totally different. But just to generalize it, to generalize that statement and say that most schools, you know, all schools are that way, that ain't it. And let me know what you guys think about that topic. Excuse me. I have one more thing that I wanted to cover. Trying to see if I can find the video for it. Let's see. Maybe I could play the audio. Just give me a second here. You know what? No, I guess this is not worth it. There was a fight that broke out in LA Fitness. It's not necessarily worth talking about. But yeah, man. Let me know what you guys think inside of the comments. Let me know if you agree with some of what I said. Let me know what you disagree with. And we'll go from there. Anyway, man, it was fun. You know, it's not as fun being on here by myself without Cuzzo here. But hopefully he'll be back next week. He is handling mother business. He's not out in the streets doing nothing. At least I don't think he is. We gonna ask him though when he comes back. Like, what was you doing, man? What was you tucked away at? We're gonna give him the third degree. But it was fun, man. Please, please. We're trying to grow this thing and we're working on getting better. But if you could do your boy a favor, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about anything that we said, that I said today. And man, we appreciate you. We appreciate those who recently subscribed to the channel. And you know, we know big things, they start off small. We appreciate you. Have a phenomenal evening and weekend on purpose.